This is the recap for live stream 387, I believe, the first trading day of December. And we've continued the run that we've been on in recent weeks. And we can see here, we came into the market with a VIX below 20, ideally a lot less than we would like. So the plan today was to use our secondary strategy for the most part and see if we can accumulate profits there. Also, I thought about just adding a little bit more size today as well, just to see how I anticipated lower volatility, so I used a bit more size today. A bit of mixed results overall today. We did have the overall performance we were looking for. So let's have a look at our NQ trades. So over on NQ, we had the market pretty much from Friday. I believe Friday was a half day due to the US Thanksgiving holiday. We had a bit of buying there coming into the early market close. Market closing around, it seems like around 1 on Friday. Had a bit of a sell through Asia. Put in a low, brief rally through early Europe before selling it into the US session for retesting the lows and rallying. So came into the market with the secondary strategy. Price came down, went long, was stopped out on that long. Well, actually, I believe I actually went long, added to the position as it went against me with this new strategy. Was stopped out there. Right there as the market went lower. Now this is one of the mistakes I did make due to the market coming down. I thought, well, I would use the primary strategy that I've been using for the past couple of weeks, but should not have been doing that, considering that we have lower volatility in how we measure it against the VIX. So I went short. And another thing was on the TPO profile here, we can see the point of control on the TPO profile was in this area. So when short, price came down to that TPO highest volume point, immediately turned around, was stopped out, got a long setup. We can see with these two arrows, entered twice, went long, and the target was hit there. So it was long at 63.25 and 57.25, exited around that 411 mark. That was pretty much it for our NQ trades. We did take a few trades over on gold, and it was a somewhat similar scenario over on gold. Now, over on gold, for the past couple of weeks, I've not had the TPO profile on gold. So this was actually added after. So what I'm going to talk about regarding the profile was not on the chart when I was trading. Also, I was looking at the volume at the time. And when I came to the market was a fair bit below 1 million on ES. So I suggested that volume was a bit lighter, bit of a hangover from the holidays. I looked at the calendar. There doesn't appear to be anything major this week, apart from I'd probably say the core PCE would be somewhat important. We've got, of course, consumer sentiment and personal spending. So came into the market again. Secondary strategy was what we're using today. So went long here, kept the size a bit smaller over on gold, just getting used to the higher size. So went long. Price came up towards the target, didn't hit the target. As price came against me, getting near the stop, I added to the position right there, and I was stopped out. So stopped out right there. Price is set up again long. So went long, came against me a fair bit, almost to stop out, went added to the position, kept the stop the same, no adjustment to the stop, just increased the risk in terms of the amount of contracts and the size of the stop loss on the position. And price, of course, turned around and hit targets around that 274 there. After, that was the last trade on gold. After that, I decided to do a bit of testing after the session on stream. And so all this was recorded on the live stream today. After adding the TPO chart, we can see here that point of control was at that level. So if I certainly would have had the TPO chart on the TPO indicator on this chart, possibly would have thought about taking the profits right there, and could have not taken the loss through here. Certainly take profit again. Even this feels a bit fortunate now in hindsight, the fact that we did get to target, because that was beyond that TPO point of control. We can see prices pulled back down in towards these lows before finding buyers again, retesting the TPO highest volume point before pulling back. So now we'll have a look at the trades themselves. So let's have a look at the trades. So today we're going to be ending the day up at 2088. So it's the 1st of December. Last time we traded was the 25th of November. We didn't trade before the Thanksgiving holiday on Wednesday, nor did we trade on Friday. So we left the market. Where was our account? Our account was around at 1866. We came in, drew down, so we took a loss there, took another loss there. So went into a drawdown immediately. Another loss through there as well. I think 17. Was there another loss? Yep, lost 72. And then we just had the two winners, which was at 203 and at 187.200. Now, the reason those numbers are bigger is because, of course, we're using more contracts. We can see there we've got 200 contracts right there on our friends over at NQ, and we've got 240, I believe, over on our friends at Gold. So those were the two trades that worked in our favor, got to target, and was able to recover all of the accumulated losses that resulted from the earlier trades on the account. Now what we'll do is we'll have a look at the overall trade performance to see how we did today. So even if we were to just use our normal size, we would have got to our daily goal of 100, but due to doubling of size, we can see that the overall P&L today is twice the daily goal. Only took 5 trades today. We can see here 3 on NQ, 2 on Gold. Overall, we had across the 5 trades, we had 2 winners, 3 losers. So we only had 40% accuracy. Accuracy was down. But this is where I'm trying to focus now, especially as the results have been in my favor. We can see the average win being 195, 100, whereas the average loss is 54, 166. So the average winner is almost 4 times the size of the average loser. We can see over on NQ, the average win being 203. So we only had the 1 winner. We had 2 losers over there with 33% accuracy. The only win being 203. And across those 2 losses, the average loss being that 45. So that's more, so that's only, if we were to look at it, it's over 4 times the size. The winner is 4 times the size of the loser. And over on Gold, we had 1 winner and of course 1 loser for 50% accuracy. But we can see here that we made 187,200 on the winner, and we only lost 72 on the loser. Again, over 2 times the size, the winner, in comparison to the loser. So again, those are pretty good metrics there, because ultimately, if we can get good average winners, we don't overtrade in comparison to the average loser. We don't have terrible accuracy. Again, 40% isn't great, but due to the discrepancy, I'm not sure if that's a term I'm looking for, but due to the size of the difference between the average win and the average loss, certainly we can see we've picked up positive P&L in that 221,820. And that pretty much wraps up all the trades. So another successful day in the books. Thanks for watching. Good luck trading. Have a great day.